So next to using existing material, you can also create your own exercises and theory. You can do this by going into a repository, which is like a map of all your exercises. So here I have one with my math and stats repository. There I can go to exercises and then create a new exercise. Now this will be an exercise on, let's do linear algebra. And let's see how we can create an exercise using LaTeX where we ask the students to compute the inverse of a 2x2 matrix. So the first question is, how do we insert this matrix? Let's say, suppose you have the following matrix. And then you can either insert this by using this visual sigma sign, where we can then enter it in such a way, or we can also just type LaTeX and do it in that sense. And then what we want in this case is a matrix which where we have these values, and we will parameterize them. And then we say, what is the inverse of the matrix above? So we save this, and now we'll show you how you can quickly parameterize this. So first we'll make parameters for all of the values that we want to change. So we had A, B, C, and D. And now we create a matrix. Let's call it matrix A. This is a matrix, and in that matrix we now place these other parameters. And those parameters we will give them random values in a range somewhere between 1 and 10. Range. And now what we need to know is to have the inverse of A. And here we can use operators. So there are many different operators. So you can find the derivative, for example, but you can also find the inverse of a matrix. And so we want now the inverse of matrix A. We can fill that in as the correct answer. And then here we will change these to be the values that will be generated. If we now save them, you see that now there's one example row where a matrix has been created, and there's also the inverse. And now let's see if the application can indeed check this. So let's click preview to see how we would see this as a student. So we get one of the generated matrices here, and then the question is, do I know how to compute the inverse for a 2x2 matrix? So let's try this. And so that is how you quickly create an exercise. And of course, you can now add more feedback. You can add specific feedback using specific feedback rules. But this is how you can quickly create an exercise using math, using LaTeX in Grasple.